Hello everyone! Today's video is dedicated to parents who came from different cultures or races and got married and produced biracial babies like me. This video is how I introduced my biracial babies to my roots. My children were half Caucasian, half Filipino. I believe it is very important for our biracial kids to know and experience the native land where the other parent come from. Hopefully, it will create a certain influence in their lives and the way they look at the world. I brought them here before, twice actually, when they were babies and then toddlers. But this time, they are teenagers and more conscious and will comprehend better where I actually came from. So please join us in this journey while I am slowly introducing them to my roots. So we are heading to my native town, and it is in the island of Mindanao. It's the province of South Cotabato with a city called General Santos City. So we landed in Jansan, where the local airport is, and of course the whole family picked us up, which is very uncommon in Canada. So here, after a day of rest, I took the kids to our local church, the church where I grew up, where all the baptism and weddings occurred in our family. I would like to see them a part of my childhood. So they're enjoying it. It's a bit overwhelming because of what's going on around them that they haven't seen before. But I think their curiosity keeps them motivated. So the next day, I took them to a local beach resort and with my family. So this is actually a good idea for me to introduce them slowly and take them to places where I grow up or places where I used to love to go and enjoyed, and introduce to people that I grew up with, which is significant in my life. And I hope they understand and appreciate that this is a form of a family bonding for them as well. Taking them to places where there's more subcultures underneath a culture that they practically knew is an amazing experience for them. More especially that most of my family member came with us, their cousins and lots of cousins. It was a lot of fun watching them get amused by it. One tip that I advise to parents is don't stay in a hotel. We stayed at my mom's house the whole time. This is for them to have a more meaningful understanding of our daily lives, of my daily life growing up. And they have a better interaction with my immediate family, my relatives, their great grandmas and uncles, and it gives them a better idea that they actually belong to a way bigger family. So here I got invited to speak about positive body image in a local community high school in my hometown. And I brought the kids with me, and this is for them to witness how the high school student in my hometown behaves, and they love it. They think they're really accommodating and very enthusiastic in everything they do, very easygoing, and I'm really happy that I brought them with me in that engagement. After 5 days of staying in my native hometown, I promised to take them outside of my hometown, and our first destination is the beautiful province of Davao. So I always make sure that when we go road trip or traveling, I take with me my one of the family members or two, and especially my nanay, my mom. And this is a one way that they could spend time and get to know their grandma better, which is obviously we don't do that very often as we live in a different country. So here I also brought my niece with me, and that's my oldest niece, by the way. So yeah, they love it that she came with us as well. So I also make sure that I order Filipino delicacies, although I have to compromise to order Western food to take it slow on them. But I know sooner or later they will learn to love everything that is served on the table. So after staying at Hofgore, we proceeded to another resort in Samal Island, Davao, which is called Pearl Farm. It was highly westernized, world class resort, but then there's still a lot of Filipino delicacies they're serving. And the villas are made of bamboo materials, so it's still a touch of Filipino there. And of course, they love it so much. It was a beautiful, beautiful island, and we stayed there for 3 nights, so it was awesome. So there's my mom. It is a really fun experience with my kids that my their grandmother is around, or with them on a trip with us, and it was it was a great idea to have Nanay. It feels like she's been living with the kids for a long time and actually have bonded and got their grandmother grandchildren relationship stronger, and it was fun. It was I love it so much, and I was very grateful that she's still very healthy to come with us on the trip like this. So this was our last destination in Mindanao before we headed back to Manila. Our time was limited, but time was very well spent. One thing that I give advice to parents who came from two different culture is to take it slow with your kids. Introduce them slowly, and I'd say let them know about your culture first. through reading books or some literature about your culture, and then set up a time to actually bring them to our native land. It's an exciting education for them, and at the same time, it's special for them because they feel like they're going to a mysterious adventure of discovering a very significant part of themselves and will certainly make them feel whole as a person. And therefore, when they grow up and spread their wings on their own, they have a solid foundation of who they are and they feel happier. So that's it. That's the end of our journey for now. We head back to Manila and I got them to show Manila for 2 days with my nanay. They have a mixed feeling about Manila, but they came to understand and accept that each country has their own flaws, no matter how beautiful she is. So we stayed there for 2 nights, and then me and their grandma parted ways. We flew back to Vancouver, Canada, and their grandma flew back to Mindanao. It was indeed a very special trip for them. They will never forget.